Hi, my name's Ken Toth. I teach at Careerline Tech Center in Holland, Michigan, and I just finished my 30th year teaching IT. And it started out in '89. Can you believe that? And can you think of the technology that's changed in 30 years? My first 5 years were on Selectric typewriters. So if you can just envision where we've come and gone. So TestOut for me, and I was introduced to TestOut years ago. And back, I used to get it on CDs. And we used it, and like education, the cycle of education, administration changed, and some of our thoughts changed. And so at Careerline Tech Center, where I'm at, we went to a different direction with our training. And when we did that, TestOut was not part of that. And so we went away from it for a little while. And I was at a conference in Michigan, and we were doing some training, and a friend said, hey, he was gone back to TestOut. I ought to take a look at it. So I did, and I got a hold of Wendy Edwards, throw a little shout out. Wendy's been a great person for me, a great contact person. So I reached out to her, we communicated, she gave me a chance to go relook at it, loved what I saw and how it could fit into my program. We are a very certification-driven program at Careerline Tech. We offer certifications from 5 different companies. So from Microsoft, Certiport, ETA, TestOut, maybe it's only 4 companies. But this last year, we earned about 255 certifications for students. Our goal is to change their resumes, to build. And so we build a resume in class about the 4th day of class, and then we evaluate that and update them every 12 weeks. And we're setting goals for students. We're very independent driven. And that's where I think TestOut's been the biggest advantage for me. I'm able to pre-test students, place them into a remediation curriculum where it fits their needs, and then we build on that towards that certification. And then what I really love about it is that once they've achieved their certification goal, the PC Pros or the Pro Certs, then we're able to pre-test in CompTIA, and we can do a one-on-one with a student. Is that the best next step for students? And for some students it is. We're gonna go right in and we're gonna use the TestOut CompTIA practice exams to see what remediation, if any, we need to do before they take that. Some students, we decide it's not the right fit at this time. So then maybe we go on to the Network Pro certification, and then we work our way through that, and then then we step back for the A+ certification. What TestOut's allowed me to do is to truly individualize my curriculum and do what's best for my students, for growth. We don't talk jobs, we talk careers, and we talk ways of life. And what we're teaching using TestOut and actually work experiences and our exposures out in industry truly allow students to see what opportunities there are and what benefits them. There's no magic for me in that. I mean, it's a lot of hard work for students. It's a lot of hard work, me keeping it individualized, and I'll just tell you, one of the tricks for me was getting my administration on board that I'm not going to be teaching lesson 6 today to every student, that I might have students who are on lesson 1 and students who are taking certification tests on the same exact day. And that takes buy-in from your administration, because that's huge, but that's what's best for the kids. I mean, that's really what lets my students have success. And I love it when kids come in and they're like, man, Mr. Toth, I'm just not a real good test taker, or I'm just not sure. TestOut and some of the other certifications we do some of the Microsoft operating system, the IC3, some of those tests let us build positive success. So then the A+ isn't that goal that's out in the stars we're never going to reach, and it lets us build towards those. How do I use it? I use it to individualize. I don't know if that, but I do. We pre-test the kids, and then I don't make them redo stuff. So that's huge for me. And that's I think really, I can take an AP student and put them in a class with a student who's really very has not even touched computers, truly, or very limited access. So, I mean, TestOut, you guys, that's been a huge benefit to me. Hey, I arrived in Utah, first time in Utah. So I arrived in Utah and my family was not with me. I came in a day early because of a time commitment with my wife. So I came in and was able to contact Wendy Edwards and was able to go out and visit the TestOut facility. And so she showed me around, and I met so many people, I can't remember all the names. Everybody was so friendly. They wanted to know, Ken, how's things going in Michigan? How is it working for you? What can we do to make it better? Best example I have is I called Wendy because the state of Michigan was requiring us to do a standardized test. And the test that we were looking at doing was the IT fundamentals from CompTIA. And I said, man, Wendy, I'm struggling because I can't figure out where you fit, TestOut fits into that. And so she did some homework, got back to me, and it was the Desktop Pro. And Ken, we've got some units, and I'd love to tell you the name of the person who actually contacted me that Wendy set me up with, but I don't remember. And Desktop Pro, there's some units here that'll help the database and programming that I was lacking in. And not that we didn't cover that in class, but for my students who needed that remediation help. And so that conversation led to, hey, can we have one of our developers call you? Please. So they called, and we probably had about a 2-hour conversation about what our plans were in the state of Michigan from what my perspective was with the state of Michigan doing the IT fundamentals. That, all of a sudden, lo and behold, about 2 years later, the IT fundamentals is going to be released, and I'm going to be able to use that. So I'm really excited about that release. And they listened because now the ethical hacker software is coming out, or version of TestOut's coming out. And that's the whole direction that the state of Michigan, that's the breadth all around the country. So they listen to our needs, they fill in the gaps. I came with one thing that I needed help with the LabSim software. And I think I've had 3 people come up and say, Ken, that's what we're working on. We're working on fixing it. And so, I mean, what else can you ask for? What TestOut, a couple things that TestOut has done for me. When the IC3 certification, very entry level. I use that the first 3 days of my class to place students and bring students up to pace. I get students who test out of that in those 3 days. TestOut, then we would go to the CompTIA exams. And there was no middle ground. And so TestOut's provided me the simulation-based middle ground to get students exposure to prep for that CompTIA exam. And for me, that's huge. I mean, the kids who come in and that vocabulary, multiple choice driven, double CompTIA A+ exam, for some of them, it's just out of reach. It's a goal that they can't see that vision. But that TestOut's allowed us a growth step in there, and employers like it. And my advisory committee likes it. So those two, that right there is huge. I like the reporting system. There was a quirk in there. That's one of the things I referenced earlier that I came, I said, hey, I could use this. And they say there's a new LabSim coming out 6. And they said it's gonna be fixed. So, I mean, that's huge for me. But, and it's not like it was a make or break thing for me, but it just, just made me have to double look things up every day. Because I'm a 24-hour turnaround guy. I'm pushing kids to get those certs. We put a huge emphasis on that. I mean, we talk it every day. Certifications and careers, certifications and careers. So TestOut's been that great in between for me.